Do corded landlines emit EMF? The developments in technology have made communication easier between people such that you can now call or text your loved ones in a faraway place from anywhere you are, at any time of the day. While these huge developments have made life more convenient for us, it is not without its drawbacks, which is that it makes us sick, albeit at a very slow pace. It achieves this by emitting some type of radiation that causes different types of diseases such as cancer, anxiety, neurodegenerative issues, and many more. Although it is not a popular choice among most people, especially young ones, corded landlines are one of the safest means of communication today as they don't emit EMF radiation in any form. This is because the phones connect to phone jacks rather than the electrical outlet in the home. If you want to learn more about corded landlines, then you need to watch this video. And by the way, if you want to minimize the EMF radiation you're exposed to in your daily life, I highly recommend checking out the first link in the description below this video. Corded landlines. A corded landline is not necessarily an old phone like you are used to seeing in movies, as there are no landlines available for use that you will be proud of. However, regardless of looks, corded phones are the safest for you and your family. Unlike cell phones and cordless phones, landlines do not emit RF radiation. In fact, it does not emit any kind of EMF radiation. This is because the phone connects directly to a phone jack, rather than an electrical outlet. It also does not require any alternating current, AC, or frequency to function. How do corded phones work? Corded phones connect the headset of the phone to the base station via a cord. It then connects the base station to the telephone pole via a telephone cable that runs through the wall. The wired nature of this phone ensures that it is grounded, which prevents the wireless transmission of any signal. Data is transmitted in corded landlines through an Ethernet cable and a grounded telephone system. One of the best things you can do for yourself in terms of EMF radiation exposure is to discard the use of cordless phones and cell phones and focus instead on corded landlines. As expected, every cordless phone has its own base units, which function as charging cradles, thereby emitting very strong radio frequencies that extend to several feet at all times of the day. If you have a cordless phone and are not willing to discard it, ensure that it is not placed close to where you sleep or where you spend tons of time. But note that the radio frequencies that are emitted by cordless landlines are just as strong as emissions from cell phones. And like cell phones, the health hazard they pose is not immediate but rather cumulative and should be avoided as much as possible. Therefore, if you must use your cordless phone or cell phone, ensure you increase the distance between yourself and your device and also opt for hardwired connections whenever you can. How to set up a corded landline. As soon as you have a landline telephone number, provide it to your friends and family, i.e., the people you are in constant contact with, and ask them to call you on it. Tell them to save the number as your default number and implore them to use it, instead of your cell phone number, whenever they want to. Furthermore, ensure you make all the calls you want to make within your home with your corded landline, instead of your cell phone. You can even forward every call you receive on your cell phone to your corded phone and discard or switch off your cell phone when you don't need it. In addition, you can forward your home phone calls to your cell phone when you are away from your home, to avoid missing a call. To use a cordless phone, you have to install a hardwired telephone network in your home regardless of the means through which the telephone signal is transmitted into your house. Radio signals can be transmitted into homes through a local telephone company, or telcos, including Frontier, the old Verizon, or at&t, or a cable provider, which could be Cox, Spectrum, Comcast, or any of the different cable companies available in the country. The telephone signal that is transmitted does not emit EMF radiation in any form because both telcos' copper lines, or copper pair, and your cable provider's coaxial cable are hardwired and do not produce electromagnetic radiation. While the coaxial cable sheathing can have an electric current which could cause a magnetic field, the electric current is controlled by a cable isolation fiber, thereby preventing the emission of radio frequency. Wireless routers. There are specific wireless routers you can purchase that works perfectly with telcos like Verizon, at&t, etc., and emit very little radiation. Examples are JRS Eco 01A on Asus and JRS Eco 100D1 on Asus. When they are not connected to any Wi-Fi device, the JRS Eco 100 models automatically switch to a completely radiation-free full Eco standby mode. When you re-enable Wi-Fi connection on your wireless device, these routers will automatically switch back on. 3 options for distributing telephone signal. As a homeowner, you can distribute your telephone signal through your home in the following ways. Option 1. Set the telephone signal to the existing hardwired telephone network of Cat3 or Cat5 cables that were installed in the walls of the house when it was built. These cables connect to RJ11 telephone jacks in all the rooms of the house. Thereafter, plug the corded telephones into the telephone jacks. You would then have corded extension telephones everywhere in your house that would enable you to make calls wherever you are within the house. If you want to, you can use long telephone cables that would extend from the wall of the telephone base, thereby enabling you to walk around while using the phone. While you won't have the luxury of taking the phone with you from one room to another as you would with cordless phones and cell phones, you also won't be exposed to EMF radiations from cell phones or corded landlines. Option 2. This second option involves connecting the telephone base unit of a cordless phone to the RJ11 telephone jack we mentioned above in one location. This would make the telephone base unit the hub of a cordless telephone network. Thereafter, you have to connect the cordless extension phone charging cradle to electrical outlets in all the rooms of the house. When you make and receive telephone calls on the cordless phone, it connects wirelessly to the hub. Note that the extension handsets do not emit radiation when you end the call. However, the base unit, i.e., the hub of the telephone network, emits constant RF radiation in the room where it is located. Also, note that this method is highly discouraged because the end results in the emission of radiation. Option 3. Thirdly, you can choose to purchase a device from Vonage, UMA, or Magic Jack that will connect you directly to your phone or computer via an Ethernet cable, instead of paying for telephone service from telephone or cable companies. When you purchase any of these devices, the company you purchase from will provide you with a real telephone number. They'll also provide you with a dial tone on any telephone you connect to the telephone jack on their device. This method is the Voice over Internet Protocol, or VoIP, and it is transmitted directly from the internet through your router. However, you need to have internet service before you can use it. Although Vonage, UMA, and Magic Jack cost less than telco and cable companies, it offers less quality and reliability in connection. Note that if a corded phone uses VoIP through Ethernet cables, they would emit a small amount of radiation. Also, I just want to quickly mention that if you're at all concerned about EMF radiation, you should take a second and check out the first link in the description. How to get a telephone signal. When you sign up for your telephone service with a telco, they will get their dial tone from the underground line, or utility pole, to their network interface device, NID, box that is placed on the side of the house. This provides the dial tone on every telephone jack in your house. If you sign up with a cable company, they will provide you with a telephone signal through their modem. Note that the signal they provide is mixed with signals for the internet and TV. You can, however, separate them using a coaxial cable splitter. Also, you can connect your telephone line to a VoIP device or a cable company by plugging a splitter into the telephone jack behind your VoIP device or your cable telephone modem. Then, plug a telephone cord to your corded phone which you can put in the room where the modem is located. Thereafter, plug a telephone cord to the other jack on the splitter and connect the other end of the cord to the telephone jack in the room of the modem. Conclusion. We can say that new technological devices take us a step forward and 2 steps backward because every increased convenience they offer us makes us vulnerable to different forms of illnesses. This renders it imperative that we take active steps towards the reduction of the rate at which we are being exposed to radiation, one of which is the use of corded landlines. Although simplistic and old, corded landlines do not expose us to radiations like the more advanced and sophisticated phones do. They are much safer as they transmit data through Ethernet cables which emit zero radiation. As a result of the inability to use corded phones when in transit, cordless phones may be impossible to discard completely. You can, however, prevent yourself and your family from being overly exposed to their emissions. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more useful tips and tricks and visit emfguardtips.com. Thanks for watching.